Hello. What's going on? How you doing? My name is Will Johnson. I'm sorry for the delay. This is my first show back on Facebook and YouTube. You hear that? Okay. All right. Good job. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would please hit the like button, hit the follow button, and share this video. Now we're going to talk about some of the things, the events that's been taking place in California, and also with President Trump having the Republicans all come down to Mar-a-Lago and have discussion with him about the next 4 years and what the Republicans should be doing and probably should not be doing. I think one of the things they're probably going to talk about with each other that they shouldn't be doing is they shouldn't be doing any infighting. None of that should be taking place. Everything should be 100% unified, because that's the only way the Republicans are going to be able to do anything here is if they're unified. And I'm really looking forward for the Republicans to actually come in and work with President Trump and make a world of difference. Okay, for everyone who's just tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's been a while since I've been live like this on Facebook and YouTube, but I want to let you know about a new site that I'm on. I'm actually right now I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, X, Rumble, and Peel.net. And many of you probably have not heard of Peel.net, but we are live on Peel.net, and I'm going to encourage many of you to go check it out. Right there, you can see it, Peel.net /Will Johnson. And if you are new to Peel.net, one of the easiest ways to do that is go to Peel.net /welcome /Will Johnson. It has it all laid out for everything that you need to know about Peel.net. I love the way they presented that. I love the fact that it made it really easy for a caveman can do it, me being the caveman. So thank you so much for tuning in. And again, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up for this video, share this video, and let's go. California has been on fire for a few days now, and everyone is pointing fingers instead of taking responsibility for what actually happened. Well, what did happen? Well, we know that the fires got started, and I'm not going to get on here and tell you that who started the fire, why the fire started, or if we know that they could have been prevented somewhat. You can't prevent fires because, fire, sometimes it just happens. It could be electrical fire. It could be from a storm. It could just be the heat, right? I don't think it's so much from the heat in California for these fires, but nonetheless, the fires took place. The problem that a lot of people are facing in California is that they knew that California was already a hotbed. They already knew this. And the information that's coming out about this is that they did not take into consideration the things that they should be doing before it got to this point. They knew something was wrong. My name looks a little weird down there. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's backwards for me. So it looks, they did something that they didn't do anything, it looks like. And then on top of all of that, we have the water shortage. We have a lot of water shortage that's taking place. And of course, because we have this water shortage, the fire department didn't have enough water to combat the fire, which brings it to another problem. Why didn't they have the water? What happened? What was the reasoning for not having the water? Now, we as Americans, we've all said that Gavin Newsom and Mayor Boss and other officials in the state of California should have had all of this in place just in case. And then you had Mayor Boss. She actually left the country right before this happened. She went to Africa. I believe it was Uganda, and the president there was having an inauguration, so she got on an airplane and went there. Which I'm a little confused on why she went in the first place. I'm a little confused on that. maybe, just maybe, she has family member. If that's the case, then I can understand why she would go. If she had family member in Uganda and that's the reason why she went, okay. But if she just went because it's in Africa and it's a president in Uganda, then I question the reason why she went in the first place. But even with that said, she should have been here. And a lot of people are saying that she should have been here because of the fact that it is what they call fire season in the state of California. Now, of course, we have Adam Pencil Neck Shift. Can we put this up on the screen? I can't put it up on the screen over here, Shannon. So I have Shannon running shotgun with me, my producer. So if you hit the arrow over one time for that, hit the arrow over one time for that, and then it will come up. There we go. Is this the one with Adam Schiff? Okay, so Adam Schiff, he's on here trying to explain that the reservoirs were not empty. He's saying there was nothing out of the ordinary here. They had the water. He said it was just the fire, basically, and I'm alluding here, is that he's basically saying that the fire was just so much that it didn't matter how much water they had. I mean, that's kind of what he's getting at. And I'm going to play this clip for you, and you hear exactly what I'm talking about. But that's what he's alluding to. That, well, because this guy here, he brings up the fact that they didn't have any water. And then because they didn't have any water, Adam Schiff, being who he is, remember he was censored in the House when he was a House of Representative. Now that he's a senator, I guess he's just picking back up where he left off by not being factual about the information that he's putting out there. This guy, Adam Schiff, literally says that the water was there before the fire began. Now, we have actual documentation that we're going to show you about the water right before the fire. Actually, it was 3 months before this fire started that the reservoir, I don't know why I can't get that out. The reservoir was empty 3 months before the fire. So what is Adam Schiff talking about? Is he talking about a reservoir in the back of his home? I mean, what's going on? Yeah, so go ahead and play this clip. Listen to
your understanding. Why did so many of those fire hydrants simply run dry? Was there something to do with that 117 million gallon reservoir in the Palisades that was out of operation? What's your understanding? What's your initial read on this?
Well, my initial take, and I certainly want a full review of this so that I can form a more complete understanding of the matter. But my initial understanding is the reservoirs that the Palisades were drawing on, these 3 million gallon reservoirs, were full at the initiation of these fires. But they're intended, frankly, they have the capacity to put out homes that maybe house multiple houses, not if the whole town is up in flames. And most particularly not if the winds are so strong that aircraft can't fly. And this was the problem in the very beginning. The winds were hurricane force, up to 100 miles an hour winds. You can't fly in that, and you depend on being able to do water drops to put down those kind of flames. And I have to think there are probably hundreds of towns in California, thousands and thousands across the country that are in equally the same position, that if they had 100-mile-an-hour winds and a lot of dry fuel, they wouldn't have any more water than this community did.
Oh, so that's the problem. Because they had the water, according to Adam Schiff. The problem wasn't the lack of water, even though the fire trucks went up to the fire hydrant for the first time and the fire hydrant just happened to be empty of water even before they even touched it thing. No, that had nothing to do with it. The reason why, not because of the water, is because of the winds. Right. And you notice he didn't even mention the fact that before we got to this issue with the fires in California, that they did not clear the brush. They did not clear the floor. You remember President Trump in 2018, he stood in California, and him and Kevin McCarthy talking to Gavin Newsom, saying, look, we need to put the money in here or the funds. He didn't say money. We need to clean the floor. And President Trump is full aware that it takes funding to do that, because you have to pay the people, you have to pay the workers, you have to pay for the equipment, et cetera, maintenance, et cetera, et cetera. So what ended up happening, Gavin Newsom, from what we're looking at, the information that we have that's been gathered, that we're all seeing, is that they receive money to clean the floor, the forest, the dry leaves, the weeds, just everything that would ignite the fire or will allow the fire to just have fuel. And apparently, from what we're looking at, is that Gavin Newsom refused to do that. There was even a story that President Trump said, let's open up the reservoirs from Canada to California, so then that way we can constantly have the water coming into California for these fires. And Gavin Newsom said no to that. He rejected it. So now here we are. Look at this one. Here's a statement. And on X, and y'all have heard Mark Zuckerberg here recently said that he's going to adopt the whole community notes the way they have it on X. Go ahead and put this up here. So here you have Adam Schiff with the community notes applied to this video, because he put that video on X. Senator Schiff is incorrect. Of course, this was the community notes on X. Pacific Palisades is served by the Santa Ana, how do you say that one? Nez Reservoir, which holds 117 million gallons of water. It was empty for maintenance at the time of the fires broke out. So it was empty. And now Newsom has ordered an investigation. Really? Now he ordered an investigation. My question is that if Gavin Newsom knew that these fires took place all year round, because he just said this in a statement. He said this is not fire season because we have fires all year round. Is it his job to make sure that the people that are under him are doing their jobs? Now, look, I'm the first one to go against micromanagement. I don't like micromanagement. If I'm doing a job, let me do my job. Now, when it comes time for review, and I would imagine when it comes to making sure that the reservoirs are in order and have 117 million gallons of water, let's make sure it's there. I would imagine that clearing the brush from the floor of the forest, right? Making sure all of this flammable material that's on the ground is removed, control burning. I would imagine that after a review of 3 months, it should be something of every 3 months, right? It should be 3 months. And I think that's minimum, right? Because 3 months could be quite a bit. You have to give them time to go ahead and go through there. But I think there should be review of these people in these positions for every 3 months, to make sure. Why? And maybe right now it should go down to once a month until they can actually get everything in order. Because look, this should have never gotten to this level. We're talking about tens of thousands of homes. Tens of thousands of homes. These are people that lived in these homes all their lives, and now they're just gone, completely gone. This is 100% negligence. Now, I know there's been other cases where people been in political positions and they've actually gone to jail because of negligence. Me personally, I think this is criminal negligence. Gavin Newsom didn't do his job. He didn't make sure that the people that were up under him were doing their jobs. He didn't make sure and verify that the governor or the mayors in these cities are doing their jobs. And I'm willing to go on a limb here without seeing any of the other mayors throughout the state of California. I'm willing to go on a limb and say, you know what? Let's check our water situation right now. Because if we get a fire here, we don't want to look like LA. I'm willing to go on a limb. That's exactly what they're doing right now. And they're probably making phone calls. Okay, well, they're not going to get any water transported to them right now, even if they are low. So this could become another problem, because now they're still trying to divert as much water as possible to Palisade.
And the funny thing, Will, is that honestly, they had these alerts out there. They knew the situation that was coming. They knew that these hurricane force type winds were coming their way. They knew that there was dry brush out there. They knew that this is a typical hazard for California. This isn't anything new. It happened a couple years ago up in Paradise, California. If you remember, 85 people were killed in that fire. Similar situation. A fire came in, power lines went down, started a huge fire, and people could not get out in time. Horrible thing. So they knew this situation was coming. Why would you order maintenance on a reserve, any reserve during this time? Any, knowing the situation that you're in. It doesn't make sense. You're right. There needs to be answers. But you know what? Gavin Newsom, for him to just sit there and say, oh, we need to, plan, have, an investigation. I don't know if people are really going to go look at that like, oh, he's trying to do something, or if they're going to think something else. Why he has alternative reasons for doing this.
And now every time I see a post that's out there from, like, for example, there's a post from Governor Abbott here in the state of Texas, and he actually put a comment on there about what's happening in California and that he's actually going to send resources. And Gavin Newsom now all of a sudden is acting like, oh yeah, we're working with Republicans and Democrats. We're coming together for times like this. And the only reason why I believe that Gavin Newsom is doing this is because he's trying to make himself look better. He's trying to make himself look like he's a leader. He's the reason why this is happening. He's part of the reason. Okay, he's part of the reason. I'm not saying he's the reason why the fires are there. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that because of his negligence, because of the people up under him, they didn't do their jobs. It falls on him. He should be taking responsibility for it, but he's not wanting to. He's wanting to deflect as much as possible. You remember Larry Elders? Larry Elders was running against Gavin Newsom. And Larry Elders would have been a phenomenal governor. Now, if people have their reservations about him, okay, sure. But I think he would have did a better job than Gavin Newsom. See, Gavin Newsom personally, I think he's only in this position because he's looking for the presidential run in 2028. That's the only reason why he's there, to try to make himself look good. But now this fire that just took place in California, this is not helping him. You have Democrats, Hollywood Democrats, upset with Gavin Newsom because they know ultimately it falls on him. They know it falls on him. He's the governor. It is his job to make sure everyone else is doing their jobs. He's the boss, right? He's the boss. Let me put it this way. Let's pretend California is a football team and you go into the championship. All right, now actually you go into the playoffs, and you go into the playoffs every year. And every year, the same coach is taking the team into the playoffs. And every year going into the playoffs, you get burned going into playoffs. So you don't even go anywhere. You just automatically get burned going into the playoffs. And guess what happens? The coach ends up getting fired. Like, we can't do this. You're not winning anything for us. We're losing because of you. So you have to get fired. Gavin Newsom should be fired. Listen to Larry Elders here in this clip, and he's talking about the very thing, because a lot of people were not calling out Gavin Newsom to resign. Trudeau just resigned in the state of California, and you know what? Go ahead and split screen it. Trudeau and Gavin Newsom, they remind me of each other. Big time. But listen to this.
You've called for the mayor of L.A. to resign. You've not called yet for the governor to resign. The prime minister of Canada just resigned. Why don't we get both of them to resign?
Here it goes. I'm calling on Gavin Newsom to resign. We can make it official. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's almost unsaid now. The guy is wholly unfit for this position. Look at the budget. A budget's a reflection of your priorities. We're spending barely $200 million on wildfire prevention, which is an 80% cut from a few years ago. We're spending $5 billion a year on illegal immigrant healthcare. That's what they care about, Larry. They care about illegal aliens. They care about bullet trains to nowhere. They don't care about preventing wildfires or fighting fires. That's not a sexy issue for them. So he needs to go. Karen Bass needs to go. How the hell do you fly out of the state when you know you're going to have an extreme weather event in a dry season in your city? How the hell do you go out of town? And then she says, "Oh, I was in contact. I was on the phone." We don't want a mayor working remotely. She needs to be there in the city with the people. She's a joke.
She is a joke. And she said, well, I can do remotely. You know where I think they got that from? You know, Joe Biden sitting on the beach and Karine Jean-Pierre. Even when Jen Psaki was a press secretary, she mentioned multiple times when Joe Biden was on vacation that, well, he has a phone. He has his staff with him. He can work anywhere.
If she could do things remotely, why did she fly back immediately? My question. You can't do things remotely, especially mass situations like this was.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think this is going to be easily forgotten in California. I don't imagine how it could be.
I can imagine the people that went through this not going to forget.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 10,000 homes and businesses lost, and by the way, the fires aren't over, you know, and now they're starting recovery where there's a whole, you know, lot of problems with that. They're having issues with looting. They're having issues, you know, now they're going through and looking for cadaver. They have cadaver dogs out there, and unfortunately they've found more fatalities, and I imagine that's probably going to grow, unfortunately. But the fact that who lost their homes is going to be an even bigger problem for them, right? Because they have voices that the people in North Carolina don't have. You know, right now in North Carolina, there's still people living in tents there. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, but California, you know, they have all these stars that lost their homes. I mean, so many of them. And they're going to be a huge voice, I think, come election time. Because this isn't going to go away. You don't just rebuild your house, your home, your life tomorrow.
Yeah. And, you know, 2 years from now, going to the midterms, people are not going to forget. And then, you know, but 4 years from now, they're going to do as much as they can to get people to forget what happened in California. They're going to do everything they can. Because, you know, there's going to be so much that's going to happen, especially especially when President Trump, his cabinet, his administration is highly successful. There's going to be so many people that's not going to think about it. Because, look, President Trump, I personally believe President Trump, just 7 days from now, once he goes in there, he's going to address these issues. And I think California, because of the situation that it's in, they're actually putting, and Joe Biden, he's not going to do it, but I believe that President Trump is going to step in because something needs to be done, because the people are not being represented. When you have governors and mayors in a state that's not protecting the citizens of that state, does it not fall on the federal government? See, the governor and the mayors and the other city officials and the other politicians in that state, they're supposed to do everything they can to make sure their constituents have everything that they need for survival. So there's no animosity going on, make sure that, you know, things are lawful, things are in correct order, but we're not seeing that happen. So I think President Trump is more likely going to have to go in to California, and some serious changes are going to have to be made. Now, I've called this out before. I truly believe that the federal marshals need to go in the state of California and do an audit of these politicians, because something is not right. When I lived in California, I noticed something wasn't right.
I mean, that's when you became a Republican.
Yeah, you know what?
When you moved to California.
Yep, when I moved to California, when I moved to California, before I moved to California, to be honest with y'all, I was listening to Rush Limbaugh. And when I was in Arkansas, I listened to Rush Limbaugh because I wanted to hear something other than the echo chamber that I was always in. I wanted to hear something different. And I would never forget it. When I would go to lunch, when I was doing IT, I would go to lunch with some of my coworkers, and I would purposely put it on. Rush Limbaugh, and I wanted to hear what he had to say. But when listening to Rush Limbaugh, I realized that he's making a lot of sense. And I'm like, I found myself not disagreeing with Rush Limbaugh, but agreeing, which was kind of odd because I was a Democrat at the time. So then moved to California, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to be a Democrat any longer. because there I had to get a new driver license, so I registered to vote, and I registered as an independent because I was still in my transition, and I was still transitioning through. And then after realizing in California that if you're an independent, you can't participate. This is when I was there. I don't know if it's changed, but you can't participate in the general election if you're an independent. You have to be one or the other, Republican or Democrat. You have to be hot or cold, one or the other. So I re-registered as a Republican. I changed my party affiliation to a Republican because I wasn't going back to being a Democrat, especially because of what I was learning about how Democrats are in California. And California, I owe it to you for helping me wake up, helping me realize that you're not actually, especially the Democrats, you're not actually for the American people. And you demonstrated that. I mean, I don't even think they're even hiding it. You remember Mark Zuckerberg went on Capitol Hill and he even admitted that, it's California and, they lean left.
I've heard a lot of people, you talking about Rush Limbaugh and not wanting to be in the same echo chamber. I've heard a lot of people talk about that, especially here lately, even with this past election. It doesn't matter if you have a D or R behind you, you need to pay attention to the policies that these people support, right? I mean, that's more important than voting down party lines, because there's a lot of things that the Democrat Party has done that literally made people switch. That's why Trump won. They said, I can't do what is happening right now. And so it's really important that people pay attention. And I always say that one of the biggest problems that we have here in the United States of America, or anywhere around the world for that matter, is the ignorant voter. The voter that, votes for their party instead of policies. They don't exactly know what they're voting for. And so they get in a situation like they are right now in California. Did you know what you were voting for? Did you know what was more important to these people than fire prevention and fire safety? I don't think they did, right? I don't think that people thought, or they thought we can do both, right? They thought, we can do, things like DEI and such along with fire prevention. But listen, you only get so much money, all right? So what are they picking? What's their priorities? That's really important.
Absolutely. They wanted to pick what they thought. Now, I want to remind everyone, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Peeled and Rumble and X. And right now, you can see I got the Peeled chat here and I got the Rumble chat here. Right now, it looks like the Peeled chat is winning on the chat than the Rumble chat. Now, I do have a way where I can have, and I promise I'm going to work on this. I do have a way where I can have the YouTube pop up here comments, and as well as the Facebook comments to pop up here. We can actually do it right now if my switchboard operator would enable it, but I don't think he knows how to do it. I'm going to show him. Because I don't think I've shown him. It's me because I haven't shown him how to do it. So it's on me. So I plan on doing this Monday through Friday, right here. The Will Johnson Show. This is my new show I'm starting, and I'm doing this Monday through Friday. So I encourage all of you to go ahead and hit the like button, follow, share the video, hit the thumbs up for me right now. So I know a lot of people haven't seen me in a while, and I haven't done this in a while, and I haven't been on live in a while. So I just want to come on and, get back to it. Now, I have been live Monday through Friday. I've been live going on LFA TV, which I will be live on LFA TV today that'll be 1 p.m. Central. I will be live on LFA TV, which I will show you more information. The reason why I can't show you a lot of the information right now is because we are on Facebook and YouTube, and we know how that works out. But here soon, once I get a lot of you to join in, I will ask a lot of people to come over to my Peeled channel. Come over to my Peeled channel to participate there. Peeled is actually peeled.net, which you can see right there. If you want to go to peeled.net/welcome, are you able to put that in there, Shannon? Peeled.net /welcome/Will Johnson. there's actually options. And if we can put that up on the screen too, while you're doing that, can we put that up on the screen so people can see that? You just type that in, and you can see they made it really easy, and it step for step on how to sign up and how to get you to be in the club, in with the cool kids at peel.net. But you need to put in peel.net/welcome/Will Johnson. Maybe we can get that up there. Can we at least show the website while you're doing that? Can we at least show the website for the peel.net? Maybe. Okay. There's the peel.net. Can we show the website? Okay. Do we have it yet? Do we have it? I want you to show the peel.net, /welcome. So I want people to see exactly what they see, because this is the best way to do this. Go to peel.net /welcome/Will Johnson, because it's basically like a welcome pack. Yeah, bring it over. Yep, right here. So once you type in peel.net /welcome/Will Johnson, just like this, it has step for step. Now, I've never seen anyone do this before, so I thought this was pretty genius here. And once you click on it, can you click on it, Shannon, just so people can see what it says? You can click on right there at the bottom, and then it got all these different options for you to go through step for step, and it lays it all out for you. Then once you do that, you'll be connected, and you will be on with me. You will be on with me live right here on peel.net. And the reason why I'm pushing that, because sometime in the future, what I plan on doing, just to let everybody know, that I will go live on Facebook and YouTube. And then at some point, maybe halfway through, I will go exclusively like on peel.net. Because there's certain information that I can show you that I can't show you on these other platforms. But Mark Zuckerberg said that he's going to allow free speech, but I don't think that's actually gone into effect. And I don't know exactly how much free speech will be allowed.
I mean, that's going to take a long time, if you ask me, just because the culture of Facebook has been one thing. You can't just walk in and say, okay, we're switching gears, because people still have the same mindset that are in control of censoring or monitoring, I guess you can say. So we'll see, though. But I think it's going to take a long time.
Yeah, it's going to be.
If it actually gets to that point. Yeah. We'll see, though.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I mean, because even X still isn't perfect, right?
No. Yeah, X is still not perfect. I mean, we're live on X right now, too. X is not perfect, but it would be nice to see that we could have full-on free speech. But the thing on X, there is free speech on X. There is free speech on X, because there's a lot of those blue heart, I call them blue heart people for obvious reasons. I call them blue heart people. The blue heart people, they don't like the fact that Will Johnson has a voice on X, and I get the voice things so true that there's people on X that don't like it. I'm talking about the hardcore truth, right? Certain topics they don't want you to talk about. Like they go, we'll let you know who you can talk about, or what you can talk about, what you can't talk about. I think free speech should be whatever. And we will take phone calls here. We will take phone calls.
Yeah, we'll do phone call Fridays.
Yep, we're going to, on Fridays, I will open up the phone lines here lately, because I got my YouTube channel back, and I see we have people on our YouTube channel right now. I got my YouTube channel back. When I first got it back, I had 111,000 subscribers. And, YouTube being the way YouTube is, and it's now to 110 subscribers. But it is what it is. They were actually removing subscribers from my channel once before. I guess they're still doing it from the way it looks, but I'm live on YouTube right now, and I can see the YouTube channel, and we have people tuning in on YouTube. Thank you so much for being on the YouTube. And I see we have people on the peel.net. Thank you so much for being there. And we have people watching on Rumble, and we have people watching on Facebook, and we have people watching on X. Yep, all the five. I have all five of them right now. Let's talk a little bit more about this water situation. And this was something this is a report because, you know, Adam Schiff, I played it earlier. Adam Schiff said that, oh, the water was there. The water was there. It's just the firemen, because the fire was so hot and the wind was blowing so tough that they ran out of water. Really? So Adam Schiff, being who he is, he's going out there combating the truth. Really? Because I don't believe Adam Schiff. Remember, let me remind you, he was censored in the House for lying. He was censored. That's the reason. That's part of the reason why he left the House of Representatives and went to a senator as a senator. And why California put him in there as a senator, I don't know. We'll put this information up on the screen. This LA water chief knew about the empty reservoir, broken hydrants months before fire. So they knew about it. They knew about it. But there's an absolute twist to this story. The woman that is over the water systems in California, she's making $250,000 a year. But the interesting thing is who she used to work for and the people she was associated with.
I also want to say that she's making double what her male predecessor made. So they doubled the salary when she got into this position.
They doubled it for her.
Yes.
Wow, really? So they wanted to remove the whole issue about men getting paid more. So they automatically doubled to her. So she's getting $750,000 a year.
Yep, $750,000 a year.
Yeah. So look at this. The Mail reports that, what is that? Quiones, past employer. So that's her name, Quiones. Okay, so the Mail reports that Quiones' past employer was linked to fire scandals. Listen to this. Quiones previously held the top executive role at electric company PG&E. So she held the top role. It's almost like, oh, look at all these scandals and stuff. We'll promote her. The company previously went bankrupt after liability for several California wildfires.
Right. You remember the big Paradise fire that we just talked about earlier? You know, PG&E got sued over that and went bankrupt, which, by the way, Gavin Newsom gave the PG&E money from the state to help pay for the bankruptcy.
Really?
You know, the cost.
Really? So taxpayers paid some of the bankruptcy?
Yeah, of course, Newsom bailed them out.
Wow.
For the most part, but yeah.
Wow, the devastation of Palisade Fire is seen in the early morning in the Pacific Palisade neighborhood of Los Angeles, Friday, January the 10th. And then Quiones reportedly oversaw the emptying of the Santa Ana Reservoir in the Pacific. So she actually oversaw the emptying of it. So yes. She knew it was empty before the fire got here.
She knew
it was empty 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And why is Gavin Newsom not asking her to resign?
Yeah, she's in charge of the maintenance. So she knew that even with this alert going on, she knew that this reservoir was under maintenance, which is why, Gavin Newsom said he's calling for an investigation because he wants to know why was this reservoir, with the warning that they had, under maintenance. During this time of year, you should not be maintaining any of these reservoirs, which, by the way, we also know because of articles they've been out there. This isn't news that we're saying. Allegedly, that even the money to do maintenance on the hydrants and the reservoirs has been cut. So
they keep talking about the $17 million that was cut, and actually, I think it was Adam Schiff again came out and tried to say that it wasn't cut. And I know there's been a few other Democrats
but
say
listen,
it wasn't
go
cut.
out there and do your own research.
But yeah, if you go out there and do a simple search, you can find it. Here's another one, and this is on the Daily Mail. Yeah, part of the same article. The water chief. This is the water chief. This is her. She knew that they were empty. And LAFD source told the Daily Mail that the DWP office said, had it not been closed, they probably would have been okay and had enough water for the fire. Had they not been empty.
Yeah. So
now, of course, you can't prevent the fires from doing a lot of damage, but they didn't have any water. Can you imagine you being a fireman and you go up to a house that is burning, and the people are saying, "Oh, please, please save what you can. Please save my home, save my home." And then they run over to the fire hydrant, put it in the water, because I've seen videos where they're like practicing and stuff like that, and they roll out the hose and boom, 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 and they go out there really fast and they boom, and they put it on there tight, and then they open it up and nothing comes out.
Yeah, imagine.
Nothing comes out.
And we've seen these videos.
Can you imagine the expression on their faces?
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness,
and
what's
we've
going on
seen the
here?
videos, unfortunately, of these people rushing to the fire people and saying, "My house is on fire," or somebody's trapped, and they're like, "We're out of water." Imagine how the firefighters themselves feel, because they want to do this job. They want to save homes. They want to save people's lives, and they couldn't. And this is in contrary, of course, to the first video that you played with Adam Schiff, where Adam Schiff is like, there was one of those wouldn't have even been able to handle this fire. And of course, we see here where they're saying it probably would have stopped the fire, which that's the whole thing. Of course, if there was enough water in there to stop the initial fire, it wouldn't have grown, right? I mean, that's common sense. But even Adam Schiff said in his own interview that there was fuel to make this fire grow. And that part is also under investigation. Has been highly talked about on them not clearing out the floors, like you said, Will.
Yeah. Let me change it up a little bit here. I want to talk about what's going to happen here in 7 days. 7 days, and I've been putting this everywhere. I've been doing like a countdown. I didn't do it from 10 days. I started with 8 days. So today's 7 days until we get our nation back. This is going to be an awesome time. We're actually going to get our country back. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? Well, President Trump, he's been entertaining a lot of the Republicans. The Republicans showed up to Mar-a-Lago. Can we put this picture on the screen? Now, of course, this is not all of the Republicans, because I don't even see Marjorie Taylor Greene in there. I don't see.
She was there. She did.
She's
videos.
Probably there. Okay, so I don't see
just
Jim
don't think
Jordan.
Everybody was in this picture.
Okay, so not everybody was in this picture. Okay, that's cool. But what did all of the Republicans show up, or all of the ones that were, available?
It was saying that. Well, it said that he hosted the House conservatives. That's what it said. So it didn't give whether there was people missing or not. But the Conservative Party really has been having a ton of meetings. Just last week, they all, after the confirmation for Mike Johnson, they went over to Maryland and met and had discussions about moving forward. So I like the fact that they're having these meetings. I like the fact that they're trying to gather. You even see Ivanka Trump in that picture in the little
I do
blue suit. So, they're having conversations of
is that Ivanka or Pam Bundy?
Oh, that might be Pam Bundy. You're right. I can't really see from here. I was assuming. But yeah, it might be Pam Bundy.
Yeah, I don't think that's Ivanka Trump.
Yeah. So they're all having conversations about moving forward, right? How are they going to get their agenda passed? Because quite honestly, while we say we have the majority, it's not a big majority. So if all Republicans aren't on the same page, it could be difficult for Trump to get his America First agenda pushed through.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was pretty awesome. Do you know who else showed up to Mar-a-Lago? John Fetterman. John Fetterman shows up there. And remember just last week where the Democrats were upset with John Fetterman, were for even just entertaining the idea of going to Mar-a-Lago and sitting down with President Trump. And John Fetterman's like, look, we need to be able to talk to one another. And I made it clear. I'm like, this is interesting, right? John Fetterman, he's making sense. And John Fetterman being the only Democrat?
Yeah, he's the only Democrat that's met with Trump.
Well, other than Trudeau.
Well, he's not.
Yes, he is.
America.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people
But he's still a leftist.
in Congress.
Yeah, I know. He's still a leftist.
Well,
but
so if you want to talk about that, so is Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg
Bezos was there. He's
Yep,
hosted
he
a lot
showed
of Democrats.
But
yeah,
as far as a politician, a congressman or congresswoman, Fetterman, as far as the Democrats, he's the only one to show up there. And I think they're going to end up pushing Fetterman out. Personally, I think they're going to end up pushing him out because he's doing too much. He's doing too much. He shouldn't be talking to President Trump. Yeah, Why not?
Trump actually said that Fetterman is not really a liberal or a conservative, but he has a lot of common sense. So he said he was a fascinating person. He said that Fetterman's wife was lovely. But you know how Trump is. Like, Trump is a very cordial person, believe it or not. You know, he could be, you know, just as mean and nasty as the rest of them. But, you know, he gives people credit. I think that Fetterman earned some mad respect, not only from Trump, but from conservatives in general. You know, and I think he sets an example for the rest of the Democrats, saying, listen, you talk about bipartisanship, but really the only person that stepped out of the Democrat Party and made any across the aisle attempt so far has been Fetterman.
Yeah. And
he may get kicked out.
You know, that's what I'm saying. I said this the other day that they probably revoked his squad card. Because I just knew John Fetterman was going to be part of the squad. Remember, because, you know, Fire Marshal Bowman, he's no longer there. So I was like, they need to fill that void. And I just knew John Fetterman was going to be, you know, squad. But I think they revoked his squad card. And now that he's constantly saying to look, he's a senator. He says he's a senator for all the constituents in his state, with Pennsylvania, right? He says he's a senator for all of them. He's not just a senator for Democrats. Isn't this what we want? I mean, and for John Fetterman to be the one to make sense here, this is very telling. It's absolutely telling to see this happen. It really is. It really is. Okay, so I want to run down this again one more time because this is my first show back here on Facebook and YouTube. I plan on doing this Monday through Friday, share information. And again, on Fridays, I will open up the phone line so you can give me a call. And just to be clear on this, I will be doing the lives in the future. And I'm asking everyone to go to peel.net/welcome/Will Johnson. Go ahead and sign up there. It's free account for you to sign up. Okay. It's a free account and you can go sign up. And when you go there to peel.net/welcome/Will Johnson, it explains everything to you. Puts everything right there, step for step, makes it really easy for you to do it.
But on Friday, we're still going to move over to Pilled, right? Just because we can't censor what people are going to say.
Well, I mean, it depends on what the topic is, right? So,
but we never know what people are going
to talk about. You know, on Fridays, a lot of times people call in.
We're going to discuss that, whether it'll be on all platforms this Friday.
Yeah, I don't like that part, the whole self-censorship thing.
I know. That's why we want to eventually, halfway through the show, go to Pilled, because we don't have to censor.
I don't like the whole self-censorship thing. It's like it's a real Debbie Downer, right? To have to tell you, be careful what you say. You're an adult, right? Why do you have to be told on what you can and can't say? I don't like that. I really don't. And that's what's been happening for some time now. They're constantly telling people what you can say and what you can't say. And also on top of that, right now I am working on getting to DC for the presidential inauguration. And I do have a Gifts and Go if you want to bless me that way. You can see it right there, giftsandgo.com/trip to DC. You can see my beautiful mug over there. People have already been contributing. Thank you so much. God bless all of you for contributing to helping me get there. I will be there live. Mainly, I will be there live for LFA TV, and I'm going to encourage everyone to tune in on my show. LFA TV on that day, Monday. It's going to be viewed, televised. The entire world is going to be tuned in to watch this. So make sure you tune in there on LFA TV. I will be there via LFA TV in DC, live streaming it. So, and I'm going to, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be going around because it's going to be cold. So I like to move around to get the blood going, make sure I don't stay in one spot and freeze.
38 degrees or something that day. It could have changed.
Yeah,
but
I'm, you know me. I like to go around and I like to have conversation with people. So I'm gonna go around and conversate with people. So please go to givesendgo.com/trip to DC. Givesendgo.com/trip to DC.
And by the way, they just had a huge press conference, about the security,
and what to look for. And they're going to actually have drones. And they told people, don't be alarmed about the drones that you see because they are ours. That's all we're asking for. Communicate with us. And let me tell you this, Facebook has removed all monetization on my Facebook page. So I want to stay on Facebook, but I still need your help. I need for you to go to my website and support me. And right now, I just got my YouTube channel back. For those of you, you notice on there's no option for you to do the super chats. I'm still building that back up. So hopefully here soon that I will be able to build that back up and you can support me if you want to. But until then, go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com. And I'm really trying to work on getting my monetization back on Facebook. It's making it really difficult. Look, there's only one way I can keep the lights on, and that's by your support. So if you go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com, sign up for the free newsletter. And you can also support me on my website. You can see there at the top, there's options that you can support me if you can, if God puts it on your heart to support me monthly. There's different options right there. If like I said, if God puts it on your heart to help me. So I would greatly appreciate it. UniteAmericaFirst.com and sign up for the free newsletter while you're there. It's right there at the top. Right there it says shop merch, right? You can get the beautiful t-shirt that I have out there. My latest t-shirt is Trump is your president again. And that's what it says. Trump is your president again. And then, of course, you have the different options up there. You can support me monthly, or on the other side of that, or right here, you can see it right there. Sign up for my newsletter, my free newsletter to you, and you get more information that way. So please go to my website, support me. But on Rumble, you can send me Rumble rants. I would greatly appreciate it if you send me Rumble rants. And even on Pilled.net, which is pretty awesome. Pilled.net is already available. Go ahead and bring it over. Pilled.net, if you go to Pilled.net, which you can see right here, right there, that's the Pilled.net. And I'm still trying to figure out the way it works because Pilled.net is new to me. I know it's new to a lot of you. Pilled.net/Will Johnson, and you can participate in the chat there. And of course on Rumble. So these two guys here are the only way you can support me live during the live stream because we are live right now. We are live. It is January the 13th, Monday.
And we're going to be going live now, weekdays at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Monday through Friday,
so
everyone.
Tune in this time.
Monday through Friday. We'll be bringing it to you. All right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Actually, I don't even have an outro for this. So what we'll do, we'll just go to my bottom one there. Yep, we'll just go to that. And I want to say thank you to everybody. God bless you. 7 days. 7 days. 7 days out. 7 days and we get our country back. How awesome is that? It's going to be a wild ride. Absolutely wild ride. Thank you. My name is Will Johnson. UniteAmericaFirst.com is the website. God bless you all. Don't forget, go to my Gifts and Go and support me. God bless. Take care.